give this a try. 20. 20. 20. More. 20. Congratulations. Here we are. Last class meeting. Awesome. Technically, this is your second to last class meeting because we'll be meeting right before we do our practice graduation run. But this meeting marks, for you, you probably already marked maybe December as the beginning of the end of senior year, but right now this is the official end of senior year, so congratulations. And I have to say that you all have been phenomenal. This is a great class. You all have done such a great job over the last several years, particularly this year. Your leadership has been fantastic. Your production in the classroom, outside the classroom has been fantastic. You should be really proud of yourselves. I am very proud of you. And one thing that I commonly hear from both parents, teachers, is that this is just a really nice group of students as well. And that, I think, is probably the best compliment. So congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, you're going to have a lot of really fun events over the next couple of weeks. You get to celebrate your last couple of weeks together as a class. And today's meeting is a way for us to help support you for having a successful end of the year, and also to give you some of our words of wisdom to make sure that it is a great end of the year. And so this is where I'm going to pivot just a little bit and say is that you have made it this far away from the end, and these next few weeks are some of the most important few weeks to make this continue to be a positive end to your senior year. Because every senior year is a memorable year. For some classes, it ends up negative because of some of the mistakes of a few people. And so today we just want to kind of walk you through some of the things to think about, and then also some of the planning for what the rest of the year looks like, okay? So I'm going to give you some things to think about. So a couple things to remember. First one is that you are still Newton North students until the moment you receive your diploma. So just remember that any decisions that you make, whether it's in school or out of school, you are representing your school. And so events like scavenger hunt, which is not a Newton North official event, still gets referred to in the media as a Newton North event when students are misbehaving during that event. Last year, we didn't have much of an issue with the scavenger hunt. I'm not even sure if it happened. But 2 years ago, we had a really bad situation with scavenger hunt, in which students were naming particular other students in that, which were harassing. There was homophobic challenges in it. There were sexist, sexually explicit sort of activities which were just not good for you and not good for your school. And so please consider that it is not an official event, and for you to be thoughtful as we think you are and mature in terms of that kind of behavior. Second is Senior Skip Day. Usually seniors give a round of applause when I Senior Skip Day is not an official Newton North event. And I have a strong opinion about Senior Skip Day. Senior Skip Day is not for those of you who regularly skip class. Senior Skip Day is for those of you who have been going to class and to say that I'm being a rebel, I'm skipping school, I'm going to go celebrate with my class. That's what Senior Skip Day is for. So here is Mr. Turner's rule on senior skip day. You cannot call yourself out or have your parent call you out for senior skip day. This is not senior call my child out day. It is senior skip day. And so if you're going to be a rebel and skip class, then you need to go and skip class. So I will not accept any excused absences on senior skip day. All right? There will not, and you should tell your parents, we'll be meeting with them tonight, we will not accept their phone calls. I know everyone has a doctor's appointment on senior skip day, but for that day, we will not be accepting excused absences. If in the most extreme circumstances that you are that close to an end and this is an excused absence that is like, you know, family wedding in the Yucatan Peninsula or something, then you and your parent will need to set up a meeting with me to discuss the excused absence, okay? So what I would say to you is that if you're going to be the rebel and skip class, skip school that day, skip school, don't ask your parents to call you out that day, okay? For those of you who are close to an end, and this means that you may not be graduating because you're close to ending out in English, 4th quarter. Do not skip school. Do not skip school. We want you to graduate. So that's just my words of wisdom. Another unofficial Newton North event is Assassins, or whatever we're calling it this year. That, I know students have a lot of fun with it. Please know that your squirt guns are not allowed on the property of Newton North High School. And also, please be wise to how you are behaving with guns in the street of Newton. And I say that, I don't know if Officer Panica is still there, but several years ago, there was a situation where some students were hiding behind bushes with squirt guns, and a neighbor called the Newton police saying, there are a group of people with guns hiding behind bushes. Fortunately, Officer Panica heard that on the radio and said, oh, I remember that there's a Newton South Assassins is going on, and was able to alert them. But the police don't really joke around when they hear a group of people with guns behind bushes. So please be thoughtful as you are playing Assassins. We want this to be safe. And so what I'll say lastly, to, just in this theme of making this positively memorable, is that prom, graduation, sometimes you are offered, or you have to make a decision about whether it's using marijuana, using another drug, drinking, is that we want this to be safe, we want this to be healthy. And so please, please, please make wise decisions. If you read the news, these are the times in which there are drunk driving accidents involving teenagers. There's overdosing that is happening. There are assaults that happen. So please, please, please be mindful in what you are doing. Please, I would ask you to not use substances, and we want you to have a very healthy, safe, and fun senior year, rest of your senior year. So thank you very much. I'm so proud of this class. We have a couple of speakers. You have Ms. Roderskis, Mr. Heslin, and then I believe is the class going to speak as well. Class officers are not? Okay. So Ms. Roderskis is going to start. Thank you, everyone.
I'm Ms. Roderskis. I'm the counseling department chair here at Newton North High School, and I'm lucky enough to have some of you actually who's been with me for the past few years. So congratulations to everyone, as Mr. Turner has said. And on behalf of the whole entire counseling staff, you have been an amazing class. You have really done a great job becoming independent, finding the paths that are going to be right for you, and we have no doubt you're going to have fantastic success on your lives beyond Newton North High School. We're excited to see that. You should all be very proud of yourselves. So there's a couple of things that I just want to point out to you. The message about finishing strong. So I know that there's things about behaviors and making choices and that kind of thing, but please know that we know that being a second semester senior without a month left to graduate can be exciting and challenging. You may find that your motivation is a bit depleted. You may find that, like, how do you get that energy enough to go to those classes, to do that homework, to study for those tests? We get it, but we really need you to hang in there. One of the worst things that could ever happen is that you put your teachers in a position to have to give you an N or an F that could jeopardize your graduation. It has happened before. So please dig deep down, do what you need to do to get it done, because that is something that you've worked so hard for, and why do you have it at the end to have to make some really hard decisions? You want to finish strong, tiger strong, to be really proud of the legacy that you're going to be leaving, and not letting these last few weeks go by and you're like, nope, I don't really care what's going to happen. We care. There are people to help you. So communicate your needs, ask for help, and we're there with you all the way, okay? Now, we also see that, sorry, I have to go to my second page. Many of you at this time know where you're going to be going next fall, all right? And now it is time for you to let us know where that is going to be. And that is through the senior survey in Naviance. You may have thought you were done with Naviance, not quite yet. This is your time to pay it forward. All that information and data that hopefully you have found helpful over these past few years, you are now going to have your class information and data put into Naviance as well. The most important thing that you're going to convey to us in this survey, and honestly, it's going to take about 10 minutes, is that you're going to let us know where to send your final transcripts. And the only way to do that is through this survey. If you do not tell us where to send your final transcripts, and you have plans to register for classes in college next year, they won't be able to have you as a matriculated student. So, the survey is open now, and it is a requirement for checkout, which will be on May 30th, and Mr. Heston will go over other things in detail. So, what I can tell you is that there's pretty long lines when it comes to checkout. What you don't want to do is have to come out of that long line to go to a Chromebook and fill out the survey when you're all excited because you just counted down to your last day at Newton North. So take the time between now and checkout. Get that survey done. It's great information. There's some questions about different departments and things like that. It's really important, again, paying it forward to let us know what your plans are for next year and how you can help benefit classes that are behind you. And then one of the things or the messages, and I know that Mr. Turner mentioned that tonight is also senior parent night, and they'll have a lot of questions that we can talk to them about graduation and stuff like that. But one common theme is about leaving home. Many of you are going to be leaving your homes late in the summer and into next fall. And there's going to be a lot of feelings and a lot of behaviors that you may be exhibiting, and at the same time, we hear very common themes such as many parents and guardians are like, I want to spend every waking moment with my kid. I'm not going to see them next year. And you guys might be like, oh no. I want to spend every waking moment with my friends and significant others. So my advice is to find the balance. Try to spend as much time as you can with the people that care and love you so much and they'll miss you. And at the same time, knowing that there are things that you do have to do for yourselves in your social lives and that kind of thing to make you feel that you've accomplished a great deal socially, emotionally, and that you're fit to move on. We really believe that that's what you all have done. So we wish you the best of luck. We are excited to see you cross that stage to receive your diplomas, and it has been an honor to work with you and support you over the past 4 years. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Thank you, Justin. One quick announcement before I get into the whole PowerPoint. Officer Panica was here earlier this morning. I don't know if this is you guys, if it's juniors, a combination, but you guys know that church that turned into condos over on Walnut and Otis? Some people are parking back there. The police are just kind of figuring this out. They're basically going to start towing cars there tomorrow. So if you're one of the people parking there, try to find a new spot for the next 3 weeks. All right, that's been announced. All right, so go ahead. So a bunch of different things. I'm going to run through this as quick as possible. If you guys have questions at the end, we might have time for that. Obligations, kind of like the senior survey, it needs to be done before checkout. These were emailed home to you. These are posted in the Beals house on the bulletin board when you come in right on your right side. There's a thick white packet there. Look through it, find your name, see what you owe. Make sure you guys take care of those before countdown. All right? If you don't do this and you're in countdown and then you get into the checkout line and you go through the checkout line, the first table you have to go through is obligations. They're going to say, see you later. And then you have to get back in line and do it all over. So try to take care of this stuff as soon as you guys can. Next. All right, so here's the dates. You guys already have these dates, but we want to review them. Thursday, May 30th, that's your last day of class here. All right, I think that's 16 days from now. All right, it is going to fly. You have scheduled that date, A block, homeroom, and B block. Towards the end of B block, if you're in a class, your teacher's going to bring you down to the SOA. Obviously, if you have a free, just try to get to the SOA by 10:15. In the SOA, the first thing we're going to do, literally, one of the scoreboards up there has a countdown. You're counting down your final 10 minutes of high school here. All right, so you guys are doing that as a class. It's really exciting. It's a good time, good celebration. After the countdown is over, there's literally like a mad rush to get in line for a checkout, because then you're going to stand there, you have to go through this process of obligations. You pick up your cumulative file from my office, down there though, you pick up your medical file, and you get your cap and gown, and then you guys head out of the building. All right, so that Thursday, again, a couple classes, checkout, obligations, cap and gown, and then at that point, we ask you guys to leave the building for the day. No reason to be here after that, so again, that is your last day here. And then there's obviously things that we have to do with the other grades. So at that point, you guys are going to be asked to leave the building. The next day, prom. Ticket sales are going pretty well. I think we've got about 500 so far. So that still tells me there's a group of you out there that haven't bought tickets yet. Today is the last day to buy tickets. So please make sure you're down there probably midway through second lunch, all of third lunch. But I think that's probably going to be the last time we'll be able to sell tickets is today during lunch. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, make sure you guys get down there. Obviously, prom, Park Plaza, we're going to meet here. It's going to be different if you guys have been to the senior prom or obviously last year with the formal. We're going to meet in the SOA this year. There's another school's graduation actually going on in the auditorium that night. So we don't have room in the lobby there or the bus lane. So we're going to meet in the SOA. And actually, I think it's going to work out really well. You guys are going to arrive at 5:30. You're going to check in. If you want to bring a change of clothes for celebration after prom, you bring them there. There's going to be people from the PTO checking you guys in, giving you bag numbers, all that kind of stuff. And they're going to move the clothes for later on in the night. We'll board buses probably around 6:15, and get ready to head downtown. Obviously, you guys know your class officers have done an absolutely amazing job this year, last year, sophomore year, freshman year, going all the way back. Prom tickets, I'm not saying they're cheap, but they are probably the most affordable prom tickets I've seen in my 16 years here. Last year's prom, I think, was about $115. This year's $75. So, celebration. After we get back. Prom ends at 11, we'll get on the buses, we'll get back here probably around 11:30, and then everybody here is welcome to attend celebration, whether or not you attend the prom. All right, so if the prom's not for you, no big deal. Come to celebration that night. It starts at 11:30, it goes till 2:30 in the morning. The theme, you guys know, is Evening in New York City. Details beyond that are a mystery to myself included. But the parents put this on. It's always a spectacular night, lots of fun, a lot of cool things to do, lots of food. So please make sure you guys come to that. Obviously, Saturday no school, Sunday no school. Because of how we work the schedule, you guys won't have to come to school on Monday either. All right, so another extra day off for you guys. Not excited about that? We can put school back on if you guys want. All right, so Tuesday. Again, this is not a requirement, but I would hope you guys all come. It's one of those just kind of laid back places where you guys can just enjoy being together in the school. You'll get your yearbooks if you bought them. There will be some yearbooks available for purchase still. If you know you want a yearbook and didn't get one yet, I would still come let me know or Miss Mazzola know as soon as possible.
They're still available.
Perfect. Never mind that. Go online and buy them if you still want them. All right. There will be some available that morning, but don't count on it just in case too many people want them. But obviously that morning, again, the PTO gives you guys a whole breakfast, probably bacon, eggs, sausage, bagels, yogurt, just whatever you guys can think of. And then you guys just kind of hang out in the cafeteria for 2 hours, signing each other yearbooks, just hanging out. Immediately following that, we're going to head back here to the auditorium, and we're going to go through a PowerPoint with Mr. Allen, who kind of heads up our graduation practices, and he's going to just tell you guys a little bit about what graduation is going to look like. If it is nice outside, we'll head outside to the field and actually go through a practice run where you guys march into the stadium. Everybody's name is going to be called. That's the time where you actually hear if people are saying your name correctly, and if it's not, we fix it so on the real day, it's said properly. If it's raining, we'll do some sort of rehearsal in here. And then, obviously the big show, graduation on Wednesday. Right, graduation starts promptly at 5 p.m. whether or not we're all here. So make sure you're there by 4 p.m. We're going to get into line out on Elm Drive, and then we're going to walk into the stadium starting at 5 p.m. Okay? All right, so just to give you a little bit of heads up, this is what countdown checkout looks like. Obviously, the big rectangle on the left is the SOA, and then the squiggly line is one of those curtains. And that's where all the tables are set up for checkout. You can kind of see it, it's a little blurry, but it says checkout cards, obligations, medical records, cumulative files, and caps and gowns. So the countdown itself goes on in the big part of the SOA. When that's over, right here where it says seniors line up, that line's actually going to go all the way around the SOA. So that line gets long. There are kids that don't really participate in the countdown, but get there at 10:15 and get in line, no problem with that. All right, so if you want to just get in line and observe the countdown and get out of here quicker than most, that's fine too. We may have talked about all this already. Celebration, just last thing there on the bottom. Once you guys enter, you're there for the night until you choose not to be there. So there's no coming in, out, in, out. Once you're in, you stay until you want to leave. You don't have to stay till the end of it, but once you leave, you guys are gone for the night. Thank you. Yeah, one thing why we're so strict with the breakfast and graduation rehearsal is because there is MCAS going on those 2 days for freshmen. So clearly, like you guys had in the past, we want the building quiet, we need it respectful. So that's why the breakfast, if it's nice out, we'll probably leave the caf and come outside to get back into the auditorium and just staying out of the building. Honestly, there's really no reason that anybody should be in the building after countdown. Those other school days, there's still classes going on, there's still things happening here, so if there's really a reason you need to be here, I just ask you to give me a heads up and just check in with me about what you need here. Graduation, go back one more time. That's right.
What did I just do?
Just hit left.
Okay.
Thank you. And just the last thing, weather permitting, obviously you guys have heard this before if you've had siblings. We'll do graduation here as long as the weather's okay. If the forecast is dire, we'll be over at BC. It's happened before. We obviously can't tell the future. We'll make that decision. I think it's about 48 hours before, 24 hours before. So there's no reason in asking any time before that Monday or Tuesday. We won't have the answer. Even if the forecast says it's going to be torrential downpours, we won't call it until a day or two before until we know for sure what the weather's going to look like. Okay? On the bottom here, a few of you guys have asked me. So we will have a senior speaker, just like other years, and it's really open to anybody in here. So anybody that's interested in addressing your class at graduation, you're going to have to submit a speech to me by Friday, May 17th. So you guys have about 2 weeks to get that done. There's no kind of requirements for the speech, besides obviously it being appropriate. I would enjoy it if it's humorous. But what you're going to do is write the speech, submit them, depending on how many people. We'll set some sort of interviews or auditions for it with myself and Mr. Turner. We want to hear you guys give the speech to us, and then we'll decide who's going to be the senior speaker. All right, so if you're interested in doing that, please make sure that speech is in by the 17th. Anything after that 17th date, you won't be in the running for the speaker. Okay? Yeah, so, oh, I didn't see it there. Yeah, no tickets for graduation. A couple of you guys have asked when tickets go on sale. There are no tickets. You can bring as many family members, friends as you want to bring. Obviously, you guys know parking's at a premium here. So I would just say encourage your family members to get here early, especially if they're driving. And then for seats, it's first come, first serve. So just tell them to get here as early as they want. Probably no reason to be here before 3:30, but we've seen people setting up way earlier than that before. So just tell your families if they want really good seats, make sure they're here early. And again, we start promptly at 5. All right, so that's all the logistics. Again, if you guys have questions about the logistics, there's been an email sent out already. I'll probably send another email to your accounts just so you guys have a reference for this stuff. Any questions, obviously, just reach out. Tonight is the Parents' Assembly. It's going to look very similar to this one, so your parents are going to get the same messages. All right, so there's just a few things I wanted to check in about, talk about before we're done here. So the first one, and Mr. Erskine touched on already, this is a really difficult time for a lot of people. All right, this is a major, major transition in your life. And I'm obviously not saying this stuff to try to freak you guys out, but just trying to be real so we address it. You guys have been doing, most of you guys have been doing this for 13 years, all right? I've asked a few of you guys, how many days have you guys been at Newton North? Way too many? Anybody have a number? Nobody? 600 something? Pretty close, David. Just about 700 at this point. All right, so you guys have been doing this for 700 days. This gets back to what Mr. Turner's been saying too. You guys have 15 days left of school. 15. You've already put 700 days under your belts. You guys have done all the hard work. You've done everything you need to do. We have to finish strong. So a lot of this fear, this anxiety, is just thinking about what's going to happen come this summer. What's going to happen next year? You have all these friendships here. You have developed great relationships with people. And for a lot of you guys, that's obviously kind of scary because some of those you're not going to get to see every day moving forward again. I'm saying all this because I can't tell you guys how many of you have come to my office individually over the last couple of months, have seen your counselors individually over the last couple of months, saying this, saying that you're terrified of next year, saying this is really tough for you. And I'm saying it because I think a lot of you guys are feeling this way and don't want to admit it, or just haven't been able to kind of wrap your head around it. This is real. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally normal. But again, keep relying on your adults in the building here, but also rely on one another. Share that with each other, and just support each other. Okay. This is a big one for me. You got, again, going back to like the 700 days, there's people here in the school, adults, peers, teachers, counselors, whoever you guys have worked with for years. Take your time at some point over the next few weeks and just go to those people and just say thank you. Right? There's a lot of people that pour their heart and soul into their jobs here to help support you guys and to help you guys reach your goals. All right? I know most of you guys are aware of this, but sometimes it's hard, it's, I don't know, maybe uncomfortable, but take some time. Really think about the people that have had a really positive impact on your life here. Go out of your way to say thank you to them. You want to drop them a little note, or face-to-face obviously means a ton to people, but just take the time and try to do that. Okay, have fun, obviously. Mr. Turner addressed some of this stuff, the skip day, senior prank, assassins, all that stuff. Have fun, all right? I want you guys to have fun. I want you guys to be able to look back and remember it being like a great senior spring, but obviously don't cross the line, all right? You guys are still students. Some of you guys are 18 at this point. There could be things that you guys might do in the spur of the moment, make a bad decision, and all of a sudden we're into the land of, is this criminal activity? All right? You guys are laughing. Mr. Turner mentioned this. Some of the stuff in scavenger hunt before, kids have been prosecuted for. I'm not joking about this. I'm not making it up. I'm assuming you guys aren't going to cross the line. I believe wholeheartedly you guys are an awesome class, but obviously sometimes people make bad decisions. Senior cut day, I think I was saying to Mr. Erskis and Mr. Turner, it blows my mind where our world is that we have to explain to you how to do a senior skip day. Skip school, that's it. Don't call yourselves out. Don't think twice about it. Don't try to negotiate. Just skip school. It's that simple. Okay? Obviously, that said, from what I understand, the date is May 20th. If you guys have games, if you guys are in a show, if you have extracurriculars after school, don't skip school. All right? You'll put your teams or the show in jeopardy. Just for an example, if you're an athlete and you skip school and you happen to have a game that day, you guys win, you get into the playoffs, somebody else finds out about it outside of Newton, that game's forfeit. That's how things work. So do what you're supposed to do. You made a commitment to certain activities here, follow through on them. Other than that, again, have fun. Wherever you guys go for skip day, be appropriate, be safe, make good decisions. Not yet. Assassins we touched on. I talked at length yesterday with Officer Panica about this, and obviously Dr. Turner's scenario made a couple of you guys chuckle. Again, you see it on the news too much though. Somebody has a water pistol or an airsoft gun or whatever it might be, and an officer takes that as a legitimate threat. If you guys have water pistols that are bright orange and green, great. But don't use anything that could be perceived as a real weapon. It's just stupid. All right? If you're gonna participate in this, again, have fun, just be smart. Don't drive around chasing each other. There's been kids that have gotten into car accidents. You know, I know there's some rules that are being posted. I got to see some of the rules. They look pretty good to me. Again, just be smart about it. Enjoy it, but don't do anything where somebody's going to get hurt. It's not worth it. All right, there's too much liability. As far as the school is concerned, Dr. Turner is really clear, not on campus. Okay? If you have a gun on campus, if you're playing this game on campus, there's going to be school consequences. It sounds stupid saying this. I hope you guys are smart enough to just listen to the rules and not take that chance. All right? Honestly, the big things hanging out there as far as consequences, you know what the two things are. I would hope going to the prom or walking across the stage at graduation is more important than shooting somebody with a water gun on campus. Be smart about it. Have fun, but be smart. Scavenger hunt, we already touched on. Yeah, you guys have 3 weeks left. That's it. All the hard work, 3 weeks. Make sure you guys finish strong. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys have done a really good job. You know, and this is what I was kind of touching on before. Like, obviously, you guys know all the adults here in the building to help you guys. But look around the room, look at your friends, be there for each other. A couple of you guys, we've had conversations individually. Some of you guys are struggling to make it to the end. Friends know who your friends are that are struggling. Be a support for them. If you're trying to go off campus for lunch one day and you know somebody has a class that shouldn't be missing class, tell your friend to go to class. Make it that simple, support your friends so everybody can walk across the stage on June 5th. It's not worth that extra burrito just for one day to not get your diploma. Help your friends out. Enough. All right, lastly, I just wanted to take a minute or two. You guys done? Thank you. I just wanted to take a minute or two, just my kind of final thoughts. I literally had no idea what I was getting into with this job. I knew I really wanted this job. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I completely love this job. I love working with all of you guys. I told some of you at the 8th grade night, it kind of hit me that you guys are leaving and there's another class coming in. I think I might have given the impression to the parents that I'm really not excited about the next class. So I need to work on that, obviously. But in all honesty, you guys have been incredible to work with. The relationships that I've developed with so many of you really mean a lot to me. It's been absolutely awesome. I just want to thank you guys for all your hard work. And just please keep it up for the next couple of weeks so we can all celebrate.